Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid-July 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got here for the Geminis in early July, moving to mid-July? What energies, messages, insights can we show our friends? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini. Please, let's get this card out nice and quick for my good friends. There we go. Nice and fast. Okay. Very Queen of Cups-esque. That's the one thing I always say about this card. So big water sign energy connecting with your reading this week. Now, that could be a lot of things. That could be emotional. It could be loving, caring, nurturing. And we're going to get into much more detail about this as well. I like her energy, though. Before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. Now, this oracle deck is not a tarot deck, but the imagery of this card in particular, to me, it just screams Queen of Cups. Like, notice she's like sitting above the water. She has her one foot dipped in it. So for some of you, this might just be a water sign that you're connected to. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I know currently we are in a Cancer season, pardon me. So we are in a water sign season. You might be a little more emotional than you normally are when this card is leading off a reading. But this card has a lot of beauty to it as well. It's creative. It's artistically expressive. This is like a shoulder to lean on as well. So you might be acting in that fashion for someone, or maybe that's something you need. Maybe you need to have a convo. Express those emotions. That's a big thing when it comes to the Queen of Cups. But one thing I will continue to say about her whenever she shows up, about the artistic creativeness, that's always a great thing. But she feels things extremely intensely. That's the big thing with the Queen of Cups, because all queens represent the internal, her specifically. So just know you might be dealing with some intense emotions, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. But we're just going to leave it right there for now. Let's see what shows up within the reading. And yeah, I'm going to get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. So let's get it going. What do we have here for my lovely Gemini friends? My gods. What energies do we got? And while we shuffle this up and get the deck ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Complete and total turnaround. And now last week's reading was titled The Surprising Win. And the week before that, there was a bunch of bumpy energy. So it was nice to see it shift. I hope you did have a win or victory of some kind. I always say they come in all different shapes and sizes, whether it's monetary, whether it's career, interpersonal, romantic, you name it. So keep your head on a swivel. That good energy might bleed through for a couple weeks. That's how this goes. But we're going to see what messages show up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. What do we have here for my Gemini friends, please? 3 cards to start. Okay, yeah, there you are, Queen of Swords. No games. Okay, now that's not gender specific, but that could be an energy you're trying to step into. So the fact that the first oracle card was giving me queen vibes. Now we have the Queen of Swords. There's a lot of internal energy here for you. Let's get a couple more. Oh. Okay, we got the Ten of Swords. Oh, lots of air. Saw the Ten of Swords in the Leo reading. I think a couple other air signs had it last week. We'll get to that. Some of you might just be seeing something like for what it is, though. That's a big vibe. All right, better. Okay, so if this is a roadblock, a hurdle, or a situation of some kind, I absolutely see you making the best of it, or getting through it, or something improving in regards to it, which could be really nice. Now, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, this rarely happens since I only use a few cards within my readings. The main part of your spread is all one element. It's all air. Now, that's something you were very comfortable with, and I already spoke about a lot of internal energy, especially with the Queen of Cups in the beginning. Now, all swords, that's the mind. So it's like we have the heart, we have the mind. Although you were comfortable with a lot of sword energy, which represents communication and thought, just know when there's this overflowing amount of it, your mind might be going a little more than normal. Okay, and I know air signs have very sharp, keen, active minds in general, but I expect an uptick. But let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out, because all of them have different particulars. Now, in position number one, we do have the Queen of Swords. Notice her, she is looking directly at this Ten of Swords, okay? So you might be about business in this time. The Queen of Swords is no games. Okay, so this could represent you, could represent another air sign. And when I think of the Queen of Swords, if she's not another person, again, what you see is what you get. She's going to tell you the truth. She is going to tell it like it is. It's straight talking, no BS type of energy. So you might be stepping into that. Now, the inverse energy of her, and I say this about all sword energy, is that yes, it could be communicative. Yes, it could be extremely intelligent and smart and see things clearly, but sometimes it could be a little bit cold. Okay, so maybe there's something where you're feeling a little cold emotionally towards it, or you're trying to look at it logically. That's a big thing with all this sword energy. You could be trying to use your logic as opposed to your feelings when the Queen of Swords is here. I also mention every time, since she is so about her business, she could be extremely serious. So I often see her when there's something you need to take seriously, or there is a situation that you need to take seriously. That's when we get Queen of Swords in the mix. Now, moving over, we have the Ten of Swords. There might be certain things, like whether they're habits or situations or even people, where it's like, yeah, no, I'm cutting that out. That could be very possible because the Ten of Swords is right in the center. Now, the Ten of Swords, if you are familiar with tarot, is one of the more difficult cards in the whole entire deck. It could be something from the past for a good chunk of you, but normally, and I'll tell you the good and the rough aspect of this card, it represents pain. It could represent endings. It could represent loss. Not so nice feelings. It could represent ailments, physical ailments, and things like that as well. And again, I'm not putting that out there to call that into being. This might just be something you're working through. It could be pain from a long time ago that like reemerges in this time for a chunk of you as well, where it's like, okay, well, I thought that was processed. Well, here it is again. It's very peculiar. But a good thing about the Ten of Swords is, while there is pain attached to this card, there's nowhere to go but up. That's the positive. That's the silver lining of this card. So there could be certain situations you've been dealing with where it's like, okay, it has gotten where it needed to go. Now there's only one way to go, and that's straight up here. So we'll see what that's about. Again, it's a difficult one. It could represent situations and issues and various things. But notice that Queen of Swords is looking directly at it. She is eyeing that Ten of Swords down. So I feel like the way those energies are playing are extremely intriguing to me. Now, on to the back end, here's more of a silver lining for your spread this week. We have the Six of Swords. So now for a lot of Geminis, now could be a great time for healing of various different kinds. This card is coming out of the rough waters into the calm. So it makes sense. Queen of Swords, looking at the Ten of Swords, then coming out of the troubled time into the calm. So we are seeing an improvement. We're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel here, which is really fantastic. Now, the Six of Swords could represent distance and travel, all that good stuff. And in it, again, in its most positive form, I feel like this is win-based, victory-based type of energy where it's like, yeah, I'm moving forward in a really good direction. In its challenge, though, it could be somebody sweeping something under a rug or trying to not pay attention to something. So there might be something you're ignoring purposefully. You might be feeling ignored yourself in one reason or another, but I'm not just going to give it all the challenging meanings. That there could be really good things attached to this card as well. So yeah, there's a lot for us to look at here, Gemini. I want to dive deeper in all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we have for Gemini? Goods. And yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Queen. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it right in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Queen of Swords, what's she doing here? Why is that Queen of Swords in the mix? Cute. Oh, okay. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So just know that in this time, the way you use your words, and I do feel like Geminis are very much known for their communication skills. I'm getting a couple of different things here with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. One, your words could be extra, extra sharp. There might be a talk you have or a conversation that is extremely serious to the point, not joking around, where it's like you have the possibility in this time of like verbally undressing somebody, if that makes sense, where it's like your words could just like cut to the bone. So just know, I mean, it depends on the situation you're dealing with, right? Like some people, they might deserve that verbal undressing. Some people, it might really cause them some pain. So I would say just watch your communication style. There is something that needs to be addressed, right? Because this queen, she's not talking about something, she's looking at the Ten of Swords. There's a bit of an anger here as well. So again, not saying it's directly coming from you. Maybe this is someone you're linked to, or they're mad, they're angry, they're upset about something. But the communication style is harsh. It's not super caring here. So, I mean, there could be various situations where you're just calling it like it is. Like, no, this is what it is. This is how I see it. I'm just seeing a very straightforward, serious communication style in the front end. Okay. And to me, it's like, all right, well, if I can't speak it how I want to speak it, I'm not going to speak at all. Or like if this person can't take my words how I want to put them forth, then why even communicate with them? It's like giving me such, it's not confrontational, but it's like, it's a little harsh. So let's keep moving forward. I'm not saying that's unfounded for whatever situation you're going through. It might be. And for a portion of you, it doesn't even have to be that serious. There just might be someone you're not talking to right now. There might be someone you're just not in communication with. But if you do come back into communication with this person, there are going to be things that need to be addressed. So let's go in on the Ten of Swords. Why is the Ten of Swords here? I want to give someone a piece of your mind. What? Thank you. All right, Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Now, again, super peculiar energy here. Now, I saw this in the Leo reading. For a lot of you, there could be a karmic cycle that's come to a close or a karmic ending that you might be dealing with here. Because when I see the wheel, it moves suddenly, it moves quick. So for a portion of you, yeah, either it is a karmic ending or like one that happened really quick, like a surprising ending or an unexpected one. Now, does that mean it has to be a rough thing? Absolutely not. I do feel like for some of you, this could be a warning because something could come to a head much quicker than you think. So keep that in mind, like especially with the communication we have up front. There's a couple of warnings here that you might want to walk lightly in the coming days and weeks for whatever reason. Now, the wheel is generally a really good luck charm to me. It's my four-leaf clover. It's Jupiter energy. It's expansive. It's very lucky. So if we were looking at a silver lining of the Wheel of Fortune clarifying this Ten of Swords, it could easily say like, okay, well, it might not be pleasant right now, but it's for the best. Or you are luckier than you think because this could have ended in a totally different way. Okay, so I feel like I need to give that message to a small portion of you. But for the rest, yeah, this could either be a karmic ending or one that happens very quick, like surprisingly or unexpected. Now we'll see what it leads to, because again, I'm seeing like this story starting to unfold. It's like, yeah, we have this very stern, very serious, then this ending happening very quickly. And on the back end, we have a very positive card. So I want to move in on that. We'll see what the Six of Swords tells us about the energy culminating. Like what happens after this Ten of Swords. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Ten of Swords here? Please. Quick. Okay. Four of Wands, 11 of Wands. Yeah, so there was something that needed to change. There was something that just might not have been... I don't want to say working out, but to me, it just feels like something that it needed to change. The whole dynamic, like there was something about it and it's better this way. I don't know why I'm speaking in this fashion, but that's just how it feels. Now, again, for a portion of you, when we have the Four of Wands, this is a universal card. I always call it the 1111 card. Spirit giving you signs, synchronicities, omens. Keep your eyes open for these things, because if you are going through a difficult time right now, Spirit might be trying to comfort you in various different ways, in very subtle ways. So some of you, I feel like that's a very pertinent message, okay? Spirit could be trying to comfort you in subtle ways. But what do we think about with the Four of Wands? Usually in the upright, it's very happy, celebratory, stable, could represent the home. Family unit, things like that. So when it's in reverse, it's like uprooting. It's like, okay, moving on, moving forward. So I do feel like, yeah, there was something, or there is something that is going to shift out. It is going to change. Now, life is about perpetual change, but to me, this one feels long overdue, if that makes sense. And again, I'm not just talking about connections, relationships. I'm not just talking about family. For some of you, this could be a career thing where like a change is long overdue. okay? But I think you would already know what I'm speaking about when it comes to stuff like this. So let's just put this Four of Wands down. I want to give you a quick little recap before we get into the shadow card. So if you kindly look in the box, interesting the way this all lines up this week for you, Gemini. But in position number one, we have the Queen of Swords with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. The very simplistic message I was picking up here is like, yeah, maybe there's just someone you're not really speaking with, or you're not in contact. But if you do come back into contact with a particular person, there are some things that are going to need to be ironed out or spoken about. Hopefully you're not biting your tongue too much. But again, I saw something about a very serious conversation or talking style. So just know your words might be extra sharp in this time, whether you realize it or you don't. Moving to the center, we have the Ten of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune. Either a karmic cycle closing and ending, or one that just happens really quick, where it's like, okay, that happened much quicker than I thought. So the energy could have been culminating for a while. It doesn't necessarily feel bad because there is beautiful energy connected in this spread as well. There's universal. Moving to the back end, we have the Six of Swords moving forward in a positive direction with the Four of Wands in reverse. So I did say, yeah, Spirit could be trying to comfort a lot of you in very subtle ways. So keep your eyes open for the signs and synchronicities. But aside from that, there was something that either needs to change, like you need to experience this, or it needed to, right? It had to in order to progress. It felt long overdue. So we're just going to leave it at that. Please take a screenshot. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. Shuffle it up one time. What do we have in the shadows for my lovely Gemini friends, guides, and spirit team? And yes, I always like to pull one of these at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or someone else. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. Okay. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get it going. One shadow card for my good friends. Thank you. Three of Swords. Okay, that kind of fits the bill with what we were picking up within the main part of the reading itself. Now, again, if you're familiar with tarot, the Three of Swords is usually the three swords cutting through the heart. So more of this air energy showing up within the shadows. Now, I will say, this is a very common shadow card. As human beings, there's stuff that we hold on to for quite a while. Pains, uncomfortable things, even anxieties. I always say that this card could be on a spectrum, things that put us on edge or things that we're just not super comfortable about. So the fact that it is in the shadows, just know that there's certain things that could come bubbling up. We saw that earlier in the main part. Anxieties or things that put you on edge that could come back around and like kind of test you in different ways. If that's not the case, you might just be feeling a little down, or someone you're connected to, if they're not portraying it, if they're not showing that they're experiencing this Three of Swords, this is Spirit saying like, well, yeah, they are. They could say they're not. They could hide it all they want. They could suppress it, but they are feeling this. That's the main vibe I'm picking up with that. So Gemini, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The link is down below, but for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of another one of my favorite decks, the Wizard's Tarot. Absolutely beautiful and works great. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, since I have the travel bug lately, let me know down in the comments what is the most beautiful place you visited in person. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.